All right, guys, welcome to another Tom's Tabletop Tool review. Put that pause in there for dramatic effect. Hope it gave you some tingles or something. Anyway, the tool we have on the table today is the Gerber center drive. This is the original center drive. This is not the Plus, but the difference between them is the scissors, and then they went to a combo edge blade, which I hate. That is something I would have hated. You take away all of the pluses of having scissors by giving me a combo edge blade. I don't know what you were thinking with that. Okay. So let's start off with this case, which is the case for the Center Drive Plus. The Center Drive Plus comes with this leather case right here, and I purchased this on the side. And this is my favorite sheath. When all the dust settles, I find this thing to be the most comfortable, the bestest mostest. I really like this thing. This thing is made really well. It's made great. I'm able to get my tool in and out of this thing. Super slick. That's what she said. But I'm telling you, as far as a multi-tool sheath goes, it is hard to shake a stick at this thing. I don't know how long it'll last, but I have a pretty good feeling it'll be a while. It's got a plastic liner on the inside that kind of makes this outer part right here where you put your bit kit. And I have a custom bit kit that I use for mine. You know, the Gerber one fits in there a little bit tighter, and it kind of wears out, so I got this hard plastic one instead of that rubberized like this. See, this is the Gerber bit kit, and it's, you know, it doesn't fit in here as well or as easy, and then it wears out by sliding it in and out of here. You'll kind of wear it down, sliding it in and out of this leather. So I got this flat hard plastic bit holder that I think works a lot better. It slides in and out of this so much easier, but that's just a pro tip from me to you. Alright, so moving on from the sheath that I really like. I don't know if that I mentioned how much I like that sheath or not, but I wanted to stress that. So here is the Gerber center drive, and I have to tell you up front, so anybody who is here to join in the hate train on the Gerber center drive, you're going to be sorely disappointed, because this is one of my favorite multi-tools. Mine is slightly modified, but this is one of my faves. This is one of my faves, and maybe one of the biggest reasons it's one of my personal faves is because I used it. I freaking used it. Anyway, also I don't cut hard cable or hard wire or anything like that. So I don't, I'm not bothered by the carbide cutter inserts that so many other people are. Okay, so let's start with the plier head. The plier head on this thing, I love this plier head. When I first saw this thing, I was like, that is the dorkiest duck bill looking plier head ever. Why would they make that thing so stupid looking? Well, I figured out why they made it stupid looking. It's strong as an ox. It's designed in a way that you really got a lot of nose out there, and it's really strong, stiff, does not flex. It's really awesome in my guesstimation. I really find that the tool head design and shape really does well in my personal life. The only thing, like others have mentioned, is that I wish that they came to a more finer tip, but this is about the same tip as far as the fineness goes as the Swiss tool. I mean, it's a little bit, you know, it's finer tipped than a Swiss tool, and we don't break out the pitchforks or anything for the Swiss tool. We don't. I mean, we might say, hey, I wish this came to a finer tip, blah blah blah. It's something in between a really fine tipped needle nose and a blunt nose. These are needle nose. This is needle nose. This is needle nose. They make finer tip needle nose. For instance, you wouldn't say that a needle nose pliers for fishing is more of a pair of needle nose than a fine tip pair of needle nose. I mean, that's just no. This is needle nose. This is needle nose. They're all needle nose. It's just a matter of how fine the tip is. Could use a finer tip, and I've thought about modifying that tip a little bit to make it slightly finer, but it hasn't been a problem. So it's just I guess a cosmetic thing for me at this point. I mean, I've never gone, I can't do this because these are not fine enough. So anyway, I guess enough of that. I really like the plier head, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. This is kind of stays true to the old design of the Gerber, all the Gerber from the beginning of time, MP600. I mean, they tried to stay true to the same kind of out the front plier head, and I guess I don't know. I guess to sum it up, you're either a fan of the out the front plier design or you're not. Me, I am really a fan of the out the front plier design. Moving on to this big piece of plastic on the back here. At first I thought when I first saw this that I wasn't going to like this, but when I saw how functional this was and how comfortable it made holding the tool, I have since changed my tune on this big hunkin' plastic lock right here, because once I accidentally discovered that the reason that it's kind of ramped up like that is it really just makes a comfortable place to set your thumb when you're using this big honkin' knife blade, this full-size knife blade. It's super comfortable to put your thumb here and just really bear down on this knife blade if you have to. Moving on to the knife blade, since I have it out, have it extended, so to speak. I'm going to tell you that, again, a Wharncliffe style blade that I'm a big fan of. I love these Wharncliffe style blades. I love that style blade. I love the blade that's on the MP 600. I would love it a lot more if it were, a full-size man-size blade. But I've always loved the shape of the MP 600. I've always had a problem with the length, so they solved that. This knife comes from the factory, not very sharp. Mine didn't anyway. And I'm pretty sure they're all that way. I kind of have a different opinion of what sharpness is, I guess, since I got into sharpening knives, a while back. A knife is not sharp until it's super sharp, in my personal opinion, and I keep my knife super sharp. So this knife did not come super sharp. It came toothy. It was a very toothy edge. And it got the job done, but it didn't do it in an elegant way. So I sharpened this thing up, and I put an edge on this thing that I'm telling you what, it'd scare somebody. It's so sharp. So there's that. I really like the blade. I think it's the one of the things I like about this multi-tool the best, and it's also such a large blade that I don't carry another knife when I'm carrying this multi-tool. That's one of the pluses with this, is that I don't carry as much stuff with me. this knife is adequate as a knife. It's not a compromise. It's a real knife, and I don't carry another knife when I'm carrying this multi-tool. So that's a bonus for me, in my personal opinion. Okay, so let's go on to the... let's save the claim for fame for last. Let's go in here. There's going to be a lot of opinions that I don't agree with because, like I said, I used the tool. I used the tool, man. I didn't just unbox this, take it out of the package, and then make a video. I'm telling you, I've really used this tool. I put it to hard work. And I've modified mine a little bit, but it's nothing drastic. And this tool stock out of the box is great as well. But the file is the same file that's in the MP600. I wish I had my black one so they kind of, but anyway, maybe the contrast will help this situation. But same file as we've seen from Gerber for years. Exact same file, both sides, as a matter of fact, they interchange. For anybody interested, if you break one or the other or whatever, they can be replaced with the MP600 file. Since that's a problem with Gerber. So the file is the same as that we've always had. The awl, I don't know. It's not much of a reamer. You know what this is, in my personal opinion? I don't know if I would, like if you needed to punch a hole in something, as long as it wasn't super crazy, like you weren't trying to punch a hole in a 2x4 or something like that. I don't know. It's not much of a reamer. It has a angle on it. And I did try it, and I did not damage it like I did the frickin' Leatherman. That Leatherman P4 reamer. Oh my God. Oof. But anyway, this is more of a line marker, I think. I think it works really well for instance, marking lines for cuts and stuff like that. I think it works really well in that part of the reamer awl. Scratching a line or, making a hole through reasonable material, you're probably not going to have a problem. But the thing I want to point out is it's not as big. It's not as thick as that we're used to from from a reamer, but not the best reamer. I mean, it does the job for most people, but if you're going to really bear into this thing, you're probably going to bend or break the tip or damage it. But it's crazy sharp though. I mean, you could, I don't know. It's super sharp, but not thick enough for heavy duty hardcore use. So there's that. Now, this is a tool that's a bit of controversy that I've seen. Either you love this tool or you hate this tool. Now, again, this little pry bar thing is something I've actually put to work, and I didn't pull out nails with it. Why is everybody showing videos pulling nails out with this thing? Big O nails with it, and then they bend the tip of it and go, yep, see, it's just a piece of crap, freaking bend it, drive a nail all the way into a 2x4 and try and pull it out with this. I don't know, it seems a little ridiculous, but I don't think that this is a nail puller per se. It's more of a light duty pry bar, a little light duty pry tool that I find a lot of use for. Again, like I've mentioned before in other videos, I do a lot of cage nut installation, and a lot of you gonna know what that is. But those of you who do know what that is, you know that those little bastards can be a real pain in the ass to get in. And this tool right here has worked perfect for jamming in cage nuts or removing cage nuts. It's one of the things that I do on a regular basis, multiple times a week. So I value something that is on my person that I can get out these cage nuts that is just easy for me to grab and go at it. And this thing works great. I've used it several times, And yeah, it's a little buggered up on the end here, but it's fine. It's fine. I've used the bejesus out of this tool, and a lot of people don't really find a lot of use for a pry bar, and that's fine. But if you're a guy that does use small pry bars a lot, even carries like a separate one or something like that, I think you'd really like this one. And yeah, it's short, but it's never been a problem. I've never needed more reach. I've never like, oh crap, this is too short. But you know, maybe your mileage may vary. I don't know. I find that this is very useful. I wouldn't trade it. Okay, now on to the more controversial serrated blade. Now, this is the same serrated blade that we've seen for years, and either you don't know that because you've never carried a Gerber, but this is the same. This is actually a specialty MP600. This one here is a bit of a rarer bird, so it does not have the serrated blade in it. But the serrated blade and the center drive is the same one that's been in the MP600 for many years. It's the exact same blade, and all I did with this blade, it didn't come as sharp as normal, but all I did is I took maybe 5 minutes and sharpened this blade. Look at this hot pink 550 cord, just something I had sitting right here. I had to bend down. You heard me bending. And this serrated blade works fine. There's nothing wrong with it. If you know how to sharpen a knife, this serrated blade's nothing to cry about. It works as good as any other Gerber serrated blade. Is it as good as a Leatherman serrated blade? No. It's not. I'll admit that. But I don't use a serrated blade enough to give a shit either. I don't care. Is it as good as the SOG serrated blade? Well, there's a good question. Disregard SOG, but they shouldn't. They shouldn't disregard the SOGs, the older ones anyway. Here's a serrated blade from a SOG. I mean, yeah, it works just like that. I mean, it does the job, especially after I spent 2 minutes sharpening it. Yeah, so no reason to shed a tear over the serrated blade like I've seen in some of these reviews. It's just not an issue. It really isn't. Oh yeah, you got to do this one. This is a little bit of a dangerous multi-tool because if you forget which side, anyway, you'd probably have to wear some big boy pants to carry this around. This one's yeah, this one's more for the guys not crying about serrated blades. Anyway, let's go on to the thing that brought us to the party. Oh, there was one more thing I want to show you. Inside the other handle, normally in a Gerber out the front, you have tools in both sides, right? Normally, tools in both sides. This doesn't have tools on both sides because of the mechanisms. But it does have this bit holder for an extra bit. And then I got this freaking cool bit. And you're like, oh, what are you talking about? Cool bit. Well, I got a cool bit that won't come out, so I can show it to you. But look at this bit. It's got a Phillips on one end, right? And on the other, it's got a flat-headed screwdriver. But this is the same size as a regular bit. Check this out. So it's a double-ended bit that's the same length as a regular bit, maybe even a little shorter, maybe even slightly shorter, but it allows you to carry an extra bit right here on the tool. So it's got it's got a Phillips, and then the flathead in one bit, which is really cool. And I carry that as my my extra bit. You know, I put that in my extra bit category. You know, let me put the center drive away. Oh, I was trying to bend it the wrong way. Hilarious. I was like, well, it don't work. But that holds that in there beautifully. And then we got that extra bit. So now instead of 2 blades, I have 3. And you're thinking, wow, with my Leatherman, I've got 22 double-ended bits. Yeah, that's true, but they're not full-size bits, which makes them a little less great, makes them a little more sucky. So anyway, the thing that brought us to the party is the center drive part. A lot of people have commented, well, I wish it locked in the 90 degree so I could friggin', it doesn't, you lock it in the 90 degree, people snap this off left and right. So, yeah, there's a reason it doesn't lock in the 90 degree, obviously, because you would snap it off. But anyway, so I saw a guy in a video. I'm not going to point no fingers at nobody, but he put this in a drill so he could prove that this is no more in center line or no more better than a multi-tool that has the screwdriver off on one handle as opposed to it going, you know, down the center of the tool. Just made me laugh. I was like, what are you doing, man? If it's not balanced, all you did was prove that the tool is not balanced. You didn't prove that the center line of the screwdriver is any more or less better. And let me tell you, I've used it a lot, and it is for sure better. It is without a doubt better. There's no question. You know, the fact that somebody put this in a drill chuck, he put a regular screwdriver in a drill chuck, pulled the trigger, and it's like, see how this is balanced, and this is like really center line, and then he put the center drive screwdriver in the drill and then spun the drill, and it was like flopping all over the place. Well, of course. Does this look balanced to you in any way? Ah, my God. Wow. But anyway, this is a lot better to use. Long, super long reach. Just built in. Don't have to get out bit extenders or any of that kind of stuff. It's just built in. And I find for my work as a tech, this is the best screwdriver on any multi-tool. It's not even close. It's not even close. The Leatherman is probably great for a lot of people, but if you use a screwdriver more than any other tool, you should try one of these. You should definitely try one of these. I use a screwdriver at my work more than any other tool that I use. It's the tool that I go to more than anything else, and having a screwdriver this quick, this good, and readily accessible like this, even if it's a secondary screwdriver. I might have a screwdriver of a particular size, and then I use this as a secondary screwdriver, or if I just need to do something real quick and easy, I've got this on me at all times. I don't have to go back and grab my tools. This is good to go. I can make magic happen with this screwdriver. And with the bits, with the screwdriver, full-size bits, I can use anything else. Sometimes I even use socket bits on here. I know that's going to amaze some of you. But you can use anything that you can use a 1/4 inch bit. So I use sockets, you know, nut drivers. Yeah, I knew a gal like that once. But anyway, this is a great tool. This is a great tool. It's definitely top tier, top of the line, top tier tool, as you know, all the other ones that I've showed you. But if you're thinking that you're listening to other people who I've heard call this junk because it doesn't cut wire, I've heard a guy say the Gerber center drive is a piece of garbage because it doesn't cut wire. Well, it turns out that dude was an electrician. If you cut a lot of wire, then yeah, this isn't the tool for you, but it's definitely not a piece of junk. It's for sure not a piece of junk. So, you know, I think sometimes opinions go a little too far, and I think the bandwagon leans heavily to the Leatherman side of things, and some people might have overlooked this tool when maybe they shouldn't have. So that's my 2 cents on that. Take it for what it's worth. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for joining me. And like always, man, give me your hate and discontent down there in the comments. I'd love to read it. And some of you are, just, I don't know. The comments are crazy. I like reading them. They make me laugh. Keep them coming. We'll catch you later on Annie.